So I'm here with Chuck Van Pelt, and he's one of the organizers of the Portland Retro Gaming Expo. And this is actually my first year, and this is actually Chuck's fifth
year. Yeah. The first one of these shows that was in Portland, I was there as a vendor, and so over the course of the 5 years since, I've become more and more involved, and to where now I'm one of the principal organizers.
Right. Like I've come to find out, you are one of the main organizers, and there's actually quite a bit of history with the expo that goes on here now in Portland, which actually used to take place in Seattle.
That's right. Yeah, it started in Seattle with I believe Lee Kruger in Seattle started kind of a retro video game group up there, and so they started having a yearly gathering of collectors, and it was a lot more formal than this, a lot more collector focused, more of a kind of church basement or Legion Hall kind of thing, you know, where you rent out a little space and have an event. And over the years, Rick Wise, who lived down here in Vancouver, which is just across the river from Portland, it was difficult for him to travel up there for those meetings, even though he really enjoyed it. And so he decided to give it a go of having a show here in Portland. So that was 5 years ago, and so he put that first show on, and I found out about it on the internet by just complete chance of fate, and called him up or emailed him to see if he had a booth, and he did, and I brought my stuff, and so I kind of got to know all those guys, and I had such a great time at that first one that I decided that I wanted to be more involved with it. So.
Right on. How much manpower and preparation and organization does it take to really put on one of these shows now? Just a general idea.
Well, let's see. I think we have probably 7 or 8 principal organizers, and those are people who meet regularly, and I think we meet about once a month and discuss all the matters associated with putting the show on. And all of those people have spouses and friends and kids that come out and help out with the show. And then we also have this year about 40 volunteers, and these are people who come out with there's no payment for them. They're doing it just to be to help the show. They want to promote classic video games and be part of the event. And you know, we really think it's great that these people are willing to come out and take time out of their weekend to be part of this with us.
What would you say the main reason was for you to personally get so involved with all of this?
You know, I'm not sure. I've always been a fan of video games, and I'm kind of a history buff, so I'm really into like the history of how the systems came to be, and I also like the social aspect of it. When I went to that first show, I thought it was really great that I could hang out with a group of people that had similar interests and got all the same jokes, and it was a lot of fun to, you know, competitive-wise, to play games with them. So I went to that first show mostly just to clear out some excess video game stuff I had around my house, and I ended up having such a great time that I wanted to be part of it.
Right on. I guess one last sort of question would be, I know you make those custom Vectrex light pins.
Yes.
And so obviously I actually saw your 2 Vectrexes on the vendor floor, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I even overheard somebody offering to buy one of them, and you were like, no, those are my babies. So obviously you're a big Vectrex fan.
I am definitely.
What would you say is your favorite Vectrex game, and why? And what was your first Vectrex game you ever played?
Well, the first one I've ever played was the built-in game, which is Mindstorm, and it's an Asteroids clone, and it's pretty well made. It's a fun game. As far as my favorite, it's hard to say, but I like Berserk. I think the implementation of Berserk on
Berserk's a great game.
The Vectrex is a lot of fun. I really like the game Spike, and one of the reasons I like it a lot is because it has actual sound samples in it, like voice samples. It's a little character named Spike, and he's trying to save his girlfriend Molly, and so there are voice samples in the game of those characters, and it's really amazing that they were able to pull that off in the system. And I'm also partial to the light pen games only because I've had such a good time reproducing the light pens and playing around and seeing what you can do with the Vectrex. It allows you to interact with it in a way that you can't with just a regular game.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate your time, and I think that my first experience here was actually really positive, and I really look forward to coming back to it next year and every year then, maybe even volunteering next year.
Fantastic. We'd love to have you.
All right. Thanks a lot.
All right. Thanks.